Something insidious has swept across our planet. It affects everyone on this earth, and that is COVID-19. This virus has infected over 17 million people worldwide, with well over 4 million cases coming from the United States. Unfortunately, we live in California, which is the most affected state in our entire country. And our lives have been greatly affected, but we must continue to carry on with our everyday lives. But at the same time, we must ensure we are keeping ourselves, our loved ones, and the community healthy. And an easy way to keep everyone safe is to not only social distance, but most importantly, wear a mask. Regrettably, a lot of people refuse to wear face coverings or masks, putting everyone they come in contact with at a high risk. While I may not be a healthcare professional, I listen to the many healthcare professionals in this country, and I listen to those providers. They give scientific evidence and proof from many studies showing that wearing a mask is not just having common sense. It could be saving lives. COVID-19 is a virus that is continuing to affect more and more people every day, such as the lives of loved ones and members of the community. Their lives are at stake. We must cooperate as a whole, beginning to start wearing face mask coverings and social distancing to not only protect ourselves, but stop the spread into our communities. Leaders in the health field have given firm statements all about the wearing of masks. They also tell us that since this is a virus, we need to stop this spreading. And this is a virus that spreads from person to person, and it's transmitted by droplets from our mouths as well as the contact within surfaces. And in an article from the government's mandated website, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC provides knowledge about why one should wear a mask, even if they aren't sick. And the CDC says recent studies show that a significant portion of individuals with COVID-19 lack symptoms. And that means they're asymptomatic. And that even those who eventually develop symptoms, and those are called pre-symptomatic, can be transmitted, and they can transmit the virus to others without showing any symptoms. And this means if you aren't wearing a mask, you could be spreading the virus to others, and you may not even know it. The CDC goes on to say that they recommend that people wear masks in public settings, when around people outside of their households, and especially when other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. Masks are a necessity to wear. The effect of not wearing a mask can be deadly to not only you, but to others. And over 500,000 people on Earth have perished because of the complications that happen from COVID-19. The infection and the death rate can be slowed just by one simple thing, and that's wearing your mask outside and around other people all of the time. Some people have the compassion to protect their community and loved ones, while others are more concerned about their wants and their rights and their needs. So while many people do follow, the rules of wearing masks, there has been a current movement focusing on the political aspects around being mandated to wear a mask outside of your own home. And in an article from The Guardian, reporter Larry Maddow speaks about how many people prefer not to wear a mask. Maddow talks about how it has become more of a political issue rather than a health issue. And he says that mask wearing soon turned into a partisan squabble between lovers of liberty who hate government mandates and supporters worried about getting sick or infecting others. And many Republicans believe that this is their body and their choice, and wearing a mask violates those rights. They believe that they should have a choice. And one Republican from the same article states that It's an individual choice. There's been nothing scientific that says masks are effective, so I choose not to wear them. The medical and scientific community has proven that source control by wearing masks is a very effective way of slowing the spread of the virus. This is more than a political problem. This is a national health emergency. So the solution is to slow the spread of COVID-19. And there's an easy solution to that. Just wear your mask. In a health order from the Los Angeles County Health Department, the health official, Mantu Davis, mandates that everyone is required to wear a mask. He states in the revised order issued in July 18, 2020, that wearing a cloth face covering reduces the risk of transmission to other people who have not had symptoms and do not know that they are currently infected. And going even further, the CDC Dr. Director Robert Redfield states that we are not defenseless against COVID-19. Cloth face coverings are one of the most powerful weapons we have to slow and stop the spread of the virus, particularly when used universally within a community setting. All Americans have a responsibility to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. There have been numerous studies and surveys done to validate the need for wearing a mask, and that it is very effective. Across multiple states, there's been significant success when communities adopt strict mask policies. In a study recently done by the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, it found that when staff and patients in a Boston hospital followed masking policies, transmission of COVID-19 was significantly reduced. In a press release from the CDC, they also advise Americans to wear cloth face coverings when leaving their homes. And in the National Internet Survey done by the CDC, the proportion of adults who choose to do so increased, with 3 in 4 reporting that they have adopted this new recommendation. And this led to another study in Missouri where it was found that wearing masks prevented the transmission between 2 salon workers and their clients. So with all of these studies and surveys, this shows that places have adopted strict masking policies have seen a decrease in the spread of the virus. While there are plenty of facts supporting the effectiveness of wearing a mask, there are also some who oppose these mandates. There's a lot of people that don't want to wear the masks. And those who do bring up this idea argue that wearing a mask can inhibit the amount of oxygen our lungs can take in, and this claim is false. In an informational video recently done by the Stanford University, they found that wearing a mask does not affect oxygen levels to a significant extent. And more studies are showing that wearing a mask not wearing a mask can add to the transmission of the virus. So ideally, if all states and cities provide strict masking policies with 100% participation, we could see a drastic decline in the virus. And as these number of cases decrease, so would mortality rates connected to the virus. This would allow cities to begin phased openings of indoor businesses and places of gathering. Companies would be able to go back to routine dining procedures, and we as a whole would be able to open up more schools in a safe way. These masking policies would be most likely needed to continue for a very long extended period, but if healthcare professionals can wear these masks for long periods of time, then other civilians can as well. So, as our nation and other nations begin to curb this virus, we applaud the many healthcare workers putting their lives on the line to attend to those affected by COVID-19. As an everyday citizen, there is something you can do as well. there is a simple practice that you can engage in that not only has the potential to save your life, but the many lives around you. And that simple task is wearing a mask or face covering. So by doing so, you are doing your part in stopping the spread of this virus that has taken countless lives. And by doing so, you are showing your compassion for humanity as a whole.